Well, good morning, Miracle Morningers. Happy Sunday. It's come up a few times, so I thought it was just needed to be shared. I've mentioned this book, Switch by the Heath brothers, more than a couple occasions. And then different times I've seen comments and things that were related to this on the Facebook group. So, anyways, so basically, what I've realized recently was that how this book is really connected to some of the key things that Hal talks about doing with the Miracle Morning ritual. And just to kind of get into it a little bit, one of the first things it starts off with is the story of the there was a study that they did. Basically, uh, what happened was they had a bunch of people that were in a movie theater watching, I think it was a Mel Gibson movie, and basically they gave everybody these big buckets of popcorn, and I mean this was huge, and what happened was that you know even though that people, like this is free and like the people could, you basically chuck it away and stuff like that. Over and over again, they found that the people with the bigger buckets quite simply ate more. I mean, 53% more than the people with the regular buckets of popcorn. And what's significant about this is that even if the people said, you know, oh, that doesn't work on me and this kind of thing, like it's just the kind of trick, whatever. Um, there's something about, that like there's the part of us that's rational and we can make these kind of, calls that like, like that's not a good thing to kind of just because a bucket of popcorn is bigger, I'm not going to eat more. But the reality is we have to appreciate that there's also this elephant in all of us, this emotional eater, this um, part of us that unless we tame, it's going to basically drive us. And why that's a great image is because the reality is like if you picture the rider, right, you can basically tell him, okay, let's go that direction and let's go this way, and if it makes sense, he will, she will go there. But the problem is the rider's on top of this elephant, and the elephant is that emotional side of us that, like, unless we motivate and feed the elephant, as I say, guess what? The rider can't do a thing. It's basically, just picture that little rider on top of this elephant, and that rider has no control over, what that elephant does. So that's the big kind of revelation I've had and how it's connected to all this. Because if you like me, if you've been for years writing, goals, how we're all taught that, 90% whatever people that fail do not have, do not write down their goals and stuff like that. It's great. That's a great way to talk to the writer, but you've got to connect with the elephant. You've got to, understand that, unless these goals are tied to this emotional motivation to connect with that, and that's something that I'll talk about next time, stuff like that, or another time, about Daniel Laporte in the Desire Map talks about this and addresses how we have to feed the elephant. So the last thing I want to say is that my light bulb moment was I one of the things I've been talking a lot about, how the entrepreneurs go on this hero's journey and everything, and I'll share the link for that video and stuff like that. But what I realize is why that story, why these stories about whether it's Star Wars or Katniss Everdeen or Harry Potter, why that really resonates with us is that it recognizes that deep in our very core is we know that we have to, like, master this. And that's the hero's journey that we're all on. And once you master that, um, that that when we are this hero that's slaying that dragon or anything like that, that dragon is us, and that hero's journey is our journey. And once you've mastered that, you realize that that dragon's ruling an elephant, and all the elephant wants is for you to kind of care for it, nurture it, take care of it. So um, I don't know how much of that makes sense and everything like that, because this is just light bulb that I've had and stuff. Now I'm trying to learn, and also, like, a lot of you here in Miracle Morning, is put it into practice, and take these lessons and shape it into what's going to actually lead to other successes and stuff. But I just thought it was just too important not to share this and everything. And like I said, I'll provide some links to this, and then I'm definitely would love to kind of chat with anybody about this. And I'm going to talk a little bit more again about this tomorrow morning at the morning rally. So I hope you can make it. So thanks everybody. That's all I had for now.